Hi there, I'm Trevor Noah, and you're watching Comedy Matters TV. Shout out to Sirius XM. I've never sent a shout out before, so that's my first one. Shout out to Sirius XM.
You on?
Yep, go ahead.
Hey, it's Jeffrey Gurian here for Comedy Matters TV and the Ron and Fez Show on Sirius XM, and I'm here with my guest today, Trevor Noah. Thanks for coming in, man.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. It's been a long time coming. We've been bumping into each other and trying to make it happen, so thank you.
Well, thanks for making the arrangements. I know you're on a crazy schedule. It's like you did the Daily Show today, right? You were at the studio rehearsing?
Yeah, at the studio today, writing stuff, getting a segment ready for the end of the week, and then obviously got the shows coming up at Gotham, so busy is good.
Busy is amazing, yeah. And headlining at Gotham this weekend. Friday and Saturday sold out.
Yeah.
Sunday night you added a show, right?
Sunday night we added,
what time
we
is
added
the...
a late night show on Sunday, 10 p.m., and that's the only one left right now.
That's a very special thing. When they add a show, you know there's a big call for
Yeah,
it. I mean,
definitely.
that's incredible. So you tour all around the world, right?
I do. I'm
One of the
lucky.
few.
I'm lucky enough to do shows on pretty much all the continents right now. So I have a good time. I just pack my bags, head to one place, do it again, go somewhere else, and now I'm here.
So traveling is easy for you? You don't find it stressful?
Oh, I love traveling. I think
Yeah.
traveling is probably the least stressful part of any journey because
Really?
you can't do anything. You relax. There's no phones. There's no. Your job on a plane is to sleep and eat. That is the core of what you. And that's. I mean, who doesn't want that? That's all you have to do. Sleep and eat.
But you don't travel alone, right? You have people that travel with you?
I
You
travel
have like
alone.
a little entourage? Really? By yourself?
No, I travel alone most of the time.
Really?
Yeah, I don't have.
And it
why.
doesn't bother you? You don't feel lonely sometimes?
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, if I'm going somewhere specific, I may take a friend with me. Maybe I'll take one of my tour managers or somebody. But most of the time, I'm on the road alone.
See, that's amazing to me. That's such a sense of confidence. I get so nervous when I travel. I made myself go to Europe alone twice just to see what would happen, and ridiculous shit happens to me. But I can't imagine that someone is comfortable traveling. You must have grown up very secure.
Yeah, I was an only child growing up, so I guess that's the only way I know how to be. So especially on a plane, it's such a wonderful thing. And then when you're traveling, the audience becomes your friends, and you meet comedians that you hang out with everywhere in the world. So you catch up with people. So there's no place where you're really alone, And if I'm alone in those places, I make a note and I go. When I go back there, I go with somebody, or I don't go back.
Do you socialize when you travel? Like, do you hang out and meet people, like your fans? I've seen you at shows here, and you're very gracious to your fans. But when you're traveling in Europe or the Middle East or whatever, do you do that all the time, wherever you are?
Yeah, look, I have a very simple rule in my life. I go if I'm in transit or it's at a show, I'll meet fans. I'll take pictures. I'll do whatever. But then, like if I'm having dinner with family or friends, I can say hi to somebody, but I try not to take pictures because it just detracts from the people you're with. They start to go, oh, okay, this again.
Yeah.
But I'm because I understand. I've been a fan of people. I'm still a fan of some people, and if I see them, I understand that reaction where you go, oh wow, you're in front of me. I would like to acknowledge you, and so I understand that. It's not like I'm impervious to the world of being a fan.
No, but it's nice that you're approachable because fans like to meet the people that they're
Definitely,
coming to
yeah.
see, and not every comic does that. So it's
Yeah.
very nice that you do.
Yeah, definitely. I always try and do that. I take what I'll do is I'll take time after shows because I like to think about the show, think about what I said, what I did, or So it's not just because I'm cognizant of what I was doing or what I'm trying to do. So I'll take the time afterwards, and then after that, I'm down to meet anybody.
And how cool was it that Jon Stewart called you himself, right? I love that story, right?
It was amazing. And it's one of those calls you don't believe because your phone rings, you don't know the number. And
Did you say to Jon, how did you get my number?
You don't ask these questions. You don't.
You just assume he has
you
his
genuinely
ways.
do not ask any of these questions. You get the call and you just go yes, yeah, and then you listen to the voice to see if someone's trying to trick you. And you go, this is a very good Jon Stewart impression.
Yeah,
Who
so
could
exactly.
it be? And then you realize no, it's a real call, and then you just take it from there.
But aren't you glad you answered? Because sometimes if I see a number I don't know, sometimes I don't answer. But if I hadn't answered, you think Jon would leave a message for you?
That's
Yeah.
actually an interesting. I think ever since I paid all my debts, I answer my phone
You answer your
regardless
phone.
of regardless of what the number is.
If it
So
rings, you take a chance.
Yeah,
like, hello.
yeah, I'm
What's
like,
the worst that could happen?
what
right?
is the worst that could happen? So I'm very easy when it comes to that.
Now, you've changed the rules basically because most people they used to say it takes 10 to 15 years in comedy in order to really go someplace with it. You've been performing about 7 years, I think. Is that correct?
I think it's, what do you think? 10 to 30, 9 years, 10 years now.
So it is
going on
9,
9 to 10.
But it's already been a couple of years since you're making major moves. So I think it's like awesome that like you carry a message, you know, and I think that's what's important. It's not just entertainment, but people get to hear your point of view in your comedy, and I think that's cool. And I think you had mentioned that you grew up doing apartheid. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So how did that affect the comedy that you do?
Well, I think not just apartheid, but look, apartheid shaped South Africa to a large extent. It's a big part of our history, our modern history, especially. So I come from a place where we're encouraged to speak. You know, we're always having a dialogue every single day. So it really was great to learn comedy in a place where we didn't even know what political correctness was yet. We were in a state where it was like, well, let's just do the thing, see if people laugh, and then we go from there. But there was no, okay, we've done that too much now. Let's slow that down. Or it was just the most raw form of comedy you could come across. No rules, no limits, just people trying it out and seeing how it would happen. And it's grown amazingly. Every South African comedian, I feel, or most of them, have a great voice. Like they come from such an interesting fabric that it really comes through in the comedy of the place. So we're a small country, but we have what I feel is we have a really great pool of talent.
Are there a lot of South African comedians these days?
Yeah.
And are most of them black?
Yeah, they are, which is a representative of the country, obviously. So we have a big number. I remember there was a time when there was like, in the whole country, there were 40 or 50 comedians in the entire country. Everybody knew everybody's name. There was no comedian that wasn't everybody. And now you just hear of a name, and that's the best thing. Someone goes, oh, this guy is there doing a show. And you're like, who is that? And that's the best thing, is now you see people choosing their comedians doing it in different languages, in different places. It's just become a fantastic industry. It's growing slowly into something that is a viable entertainment industry, and that's fantastic to see.
Well, I want to say one thing in closing, that you did one thing for me that no one else has ever done. When you apologized for laughing too loud during my set, I will never forget that. That was amazing.
I always feel bad because I never know, like I know it distracts me if I hear one laugh that's just, and I couldn't hold, but there's just moments in a comedian's set where it catches me off guard so much that and on that particular occasion, I was just this lone voice that went so loud because it hit me on a comedic level. And so I felt, because, you never know how a person takes it. So.
No, but you were standing next to the person who was taping me. And so what I did, I don't know if I ever told you, in that tape, I wrote loud laughter, courtesy of Trevor Noah. So I used it.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. It was great to see you
Absolute
today.
Pleasure, Jeffrey.
All the best.
Thank you very much.
Continue.